What is up everyone, Hero276 here, and welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be featuring a Psychic Cup team featuring Malamar with Psycho Cut, Foul Play, and Superpower, Bronzong with a moveset of Feint Attack, Heavy Slam, and Payback, and finally, Galarian Slowbro with the moveset of Poison Jab, Surf, and Sludge Bomb. This team kind of functions in an ABB style, with Malamar being weak to the fairies and the rest of the team kind of covering those weaknesses. For the Bronzong, you're going to notice some unorthodox movesets in the beginning. I was running Feint Attack, Psyshock, and Bulldoze, I believe. It's just for the first 3 battles. The rest of the sets will have the moveset that I expressed earlier. Before we dive into the video, I just want to give a special shout out to my Spotify page. If you're looking for other ways to support the channel, please be sure to check out my Spotify page where you'll have access to all of my music. You can buy my albums there for just $4.99. If you don't feel like buying the music, you can follow me on the Spotify page. You'll stay tuned to all of my music uploads that I'll be releasing throughout the year, and you'll also be able to listen to my music for free. That said, let's jump right into the video. Now, on the day, I was able to go 10-5 with this team, and the set I will be showcasing today is a 4-1 with 2 bonus battles. Malamar leading into Galarian Rapidash in the opening match. I'm going to save switch into my Bronzong, and this is the beauty of running an ABB-style team, is we have 2 responses to these fairies. So I'm going to go into the Bronzong, shield up the potential high horsepower. It is the high horsepower, and then my opponent save switches into a Malamar. And this was right around the time where you notice I was contemplating my choices. Did I really want to run Bulldoze, a very terrible move, on a Pokemon that doesn't even get stabbed for it? You'll see in a second I do change it over. I do apologize in advance. At this point, the Bronzong will be sacked at the hands of the Malamar, and we'll go down to a Foul Play. And here we sit in Switch Clock Purgatory, waiting to bring back in the Malamar, because Galarian Slowbro definitely doesn't want to see Malamar. But our Malamar has 0 attack. It is going to lose CMP against virtually every other Malamar mirror match, so be prepared for that throughout this video as well. Malamar is going for a Foul Play. I missed a couple bubbles there, but my opponent switches back in the Galarian Rapidash, and here I can bring in the Slowbro, and at this point, we'll be able to shield the high horsepower and Poison Jab all the way down, leaving with a ton of energy. My opponent sends back in the Malamar, and I get to the back-to-back serves, and the important thing about this matchup is Galarian Slowbro wins the CMP against Malamar, so despite them having the Foul Play, I click the Surf first. We're able to take them out. In the back, they have a Shadow Gardevoir, and what better feeling than to Sludge Bomb a Shadow Gardevoir? Galarian Slowbro out here looking very toxic. It's going to get rid of the Gardevoir and give us the win. Hopping into game number 2, leading Malamar into Shadow Gardevoir, another very bad lead. We save switch into the Bronzong, and we lure out an opposing Bronzong. They don't know it, but we're actually running Bulldoze instead of Payback. If they want to, they can simply let this through, but they decide to shield it up. And I think I'm going to try for the 2 shielded farm down. They're able to reach their Payback, but I'm going to shield this up, as Payback would be taking me out from this health range. And now, I'm just going to go for the 2 shielded farm down. Opponent decides to throw their energy, but this is where I can expend that second shield and leave with a ton of energy on the Bronzong. With the threat of a super effective Heavy Slam, we likely won't be seeing the Gardevoir come back in. Instead, my opponent brings in their third, which is Malamar, and we're able to grab a shield with the Psyshock. At this point, shields are down, and Bronzong is going to go to town, unleashing the Bulldoze. It actually does some solid damage there, bringing it below half health, and now I can bring in my own Malamar, and I'll be able to potentially one-shot this thing with a Foul Play if I'm able to get there. I do get there, but like I said, my Malamar has 0 attack, so I'm losing every CMP tie in existence in the mirror match. However, the opposing Malamar is in Foul Play range. My opponent probably thinks they can charm the way out of here, but we have Galarian Slowbro in the back. This Sludge Bomb from Galarian Slowbro does 120.2% damage to Shadow Gardevoir, sending it back to the Distortion World and giving us the win. Hopping into game number 3, picking up a lead up against Bruxish. If we want to see the Bruxish, this is where we want to see it, where the bites are neutral and not super effective. We're able to spam off these foul plays as well. This will come very close to KOing. My opponent lets it through. We should be able to farm down, but we lag a bunch. This means my opponent will be able to reach a charge move. However, it is just the triple resisted Psychic Fangs, and now we're able to Psycho Cut down. My opponent sends in a Galarian Slowking, so this will likely be a battle of the slow dudes. We're able to reach a foul play. My opponent shields it up, and we're able to reach another foul play. My opponent probably doesn't want to go down 2 shields, so they let that go through. It's not enough to KO. Are we able to reach another one? Yes, we are. This will likely grab the second shield if they want to preserve its health. My opponent does shield it up. They send in a Galarian Slowbro, and we lag a bit before coming in with our Bronzong. This is only a Surf, but our win condition is Bronzong, so I shield it up. My opponent surrenders, and that is game, set, and match. Hopping into game number 4, picking up a lead up against Claydol. This is a very good lead. We have super effective foul plays here, and Claydol would basically destroy our backline, so I'm happy to catch it on the lead. Going for the foul play here. Foul play will do some nice damage onto this Claydol, and because they are at the move, I decide to go for the foul play and win CMP. This will take out the Claydol if they decide to let it go through, which they do, and they bring in their own Malamar. The good thing, however, is that we're not in foul play range. This foul play will come very close to KOing, but these triple resisted Psycho Cuts are going to make it impossible for this opponent to farm down without having to throw their energy. Otherwise, I'll be able to reach enough foul plays to KO them, so I'll be able to reach this foul play. This will start to get the Malamar quite low, so my opponent lets it go through, and now I'll be able to reach a foul play in time. I throw the superpower instinctually, but my opponent catches it onto Galarian Rapidash where it's double resisted. But this is another fairy type, and in comes Galarian Slowbro. We'll be able to shield up this move. It's the high horsepower, and we'll be able to Poison Jab all the way down. Malamar will likely get Poison Jab down as well. We shield up, but we can survive the foul play, so even if they have another one, it's not going to KO, and the Poison Jab went through, which means Galarian Slowbro is going to finish off the game. Hopping into game number 5, and we're leading into a Medicham. Now, this is not entirely what I was expecting, because Medicham has losing matchups against much of the meta, so it's not very common to see it in this cup at all. It's unfortunate that 2 of my team members take neutral damage from counter, so I will eventually pivot out of this match and into Bronzong, where I will be able to sponge at least one move. My opponent is running Dynamic Punch as well, so this is definitely very unorthodox. But I'm going to call a bait here in hopes of staying alive, but they send a second Dynamic Punch, which is enough to take me out. This is not a very good position for my team, so I'm going to bring in the Galarian Slowbro, where the counters are double resisted, and look for a very aggressive Poison Jab down. They will be able to reach a move, but Ice Punch is not enough here, so I will be able to Poison Jab down and leave with a ton of energy. They have a Galarian Slowbro of their own in the back, and this is not looking very good, as I don't really have switch advantage, and I have no clue what's in the back. So I'm going to switch in the Malamar to potentially lure out a Charmer, and it's Gardevoir, but I'm afraid that my Galarian Slowbro is too low to be able to fully effectivize handling this team. I'm going to go for an aggressive Poison Jab down once more, but these Charms are ripping away at the Slowbro. We simultaneously KO, but they had a Pokemon alive in the back. But nonetheless, we managed to go 4-1 in this set, and we encounter a Hisuian Sneasel as a reward, so we'll catch that real quick, claim our set rewards, and reach rank 18. Hopping into the first of 2 bonus battles leading into an Alolan Raichu. Although a positive matchup, we do need to be wary in case they decide to shield, as we'll have to invest shields of our own. However, the good thing is that we do outpace to this foul play. Foul play will get this Alolan Raichu low if they decide to let it go through, which they do not. They burn a shield, and I'm going to burn a shield myself. I'm at another foul play, so if I want to, I can decide to throw it. I decide to throw one more Psycho Cut in case they try to sneak a Volt Switch, so I'm able to get off this next foul play, and they decide to play out the 2s. At this point, I'm going to play out the 2s myself, because I should be able to outpace to a 3rd foul play. I shield up the Thunder Punch, but I'm able to reach another foul play. This will KO the Alolan Raichu, and we have a fairly healthy Malamar to deal with whatever is in the back. They have Deoxys defense, and I'll be able to win CMP over them as they decide to go for the Psycho Boost, which will not KO. At this point, I was thinking it would, but I completely forgot that Malamar triple resisted Psychic moves, so it's not enough. It takes me by surprise, and although these counters were double debuffed, they do farm down. I send in Bronzong. They have Cresselia in the back, which is an interesting team strategy. It looks like they were going for double bulk with a Glass Cannon on the lead. However, they do get the attack drop on the Moonblast, but Bronzong, as you're going to see in a second, does not care. Going for the payback, that does absurd damage onto Cresselia, and at this point, we should be able to sponge the next move, farm all the way down. Maybe we'll have to tank one more Moonblast, but that's okay, because Bronzong is super thick and has a lot of resistances. Moonblast will not KO, and we'll leave with the payback for the Deoxys defense, and even though it's debuffed, it will KO and give us the win. We have one more bonus battle for you today, leading into another Bruxish. Malamar likes this lead a lot. My opponent safe switches into their own Malamar, but because they get the one-turn switch, we should be able to win this mirror match, even if we decide to commit an even amount of shields. They let the first foul play go through, and I'm just going to mirror whatever action they decide to take. If they no shield, I no shield. I'm going to be able to reach the foul play first without fearing the CMP tie loss, so I'm going to go for a foul play. They shielded up, and because they shield up, I shield up. I want to try to win this alignment in any way possible. I'm going to be able to reach this foul play first. Foul play will almost KO this Malamar. Malamar lets it go through, and I get the Psycho Cut down, which is very nice. I still have a fairly healthy Malamar for whatever decides to come in. It's a Galarian Slowking, and this game should hopefully be over. At this point, I'll be able to reach a couple of foul plays, even before they decide to take me out. We're able to grab the final shield, and at this point, we could just let the Malamar go down. This is only a Surf, but it will KO, and now, we're going to send in the Bronzong. In comes the Bruxish, and watch what we're going to do. Right when we get to the payback, we're going to switch into our Galarian Slowbro and store the payback, catching the move. Psychic Fangs will not do a lot of damage, but it will increase the damage of their bites. Can we farm down in time? We do. We're able to leave with the Surf, and we're able to throw it onto the Galarian Slowking. Not like it mattered since it was in payback range, but any damage is good damage. Now we can send back in the Bronzong. Time to let this Galarian Slowking make its royal presence at the Distortion World. Down it goes, and we take the win. On the whole, this team was very fun to use. Just make sure you're running the right Bronzong moveset, and you'll be in good shape. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.